Hello everyone, now I am going to explain about the concept of program diver. So this is one of the method of a modes of transfer in an input-output interface. So in an input-output interface, and we are going to learn how the input-output devices are connected to an internal storage unit or CPU through an interface, through an data bus, address bus, and control lines here. So whenever any input-output device is accessing the CPU, first of all, it is going to allocate some address through an address bus, and here whenever it is giving any information, and then it is placed on an data bus through an interface, and here it is going to read the information, then the control line, he is going to activate the read line, or it is going to write the information, it is going to activate the write line. So this is about the block diagram of an input output interface here. So whenever we are sending an information or we are getting an information, that is called as a modes of transfer of information. So there are three different types of modes of data transfer. So in that first one is program diver, and the second one is interrupt initiated diver, third one is DMA. Today we are going to learn about the concept of a program diver. It is a very smaller one we are going to learn. So in case of program diver, so it is a name itself. So whatever the data we are sending, that is in the form of a program, that is called as a programmed IO. So this is a basic block diagram of a program diver. So here we have input output device through an interface through an CPU memory. So here whenever we are sending any program, first of all that is placed on a input output bus to an interface, and here it is going to check that program if that is a valid or not. If it is valid, then it is stored in a data register of an interface. Then the interface immediately disable this data valid line and immediately activate this data accepted line. That is not, it is going to send one acknowledgement to the input output device that whatever the data you have sent to me, so that is a valid one, then it is going to give one acknowledgement to the input output devices. So therefore here, like input output device is sending any program that is placed on IO bus, data value line will be disabled, then it will send one acknowledgement to a input output device. So after getting a information, first of all that is placed on a data register. So interface consists of two registers, one is data register, one is status register. So whatever the information we are getting, that is placed on a data register, and it internally sets one status that it has some amount of information. So with the help of a flag bit, if flag bit is equal to 1, then it will sends the CPU, it will sends the information to the CPU that the flag is equal to 1, means the CPU is ready to execute that program. Suppose here if data register does not contain any information, then flag bit value will be 0. If flag is equal to 0, the CPU has to wait until and unless the flag bit value is 1. So therefore here if the interface has any data, then the flag bit value is 1, and that is placed on a data bus. Okay, so therefore here that is placed on a data bus. Then the CPU, so initially whenever the input output device are using, then it will use it to allocate some address through an address bus here. So after getting the information, so the CPU is going to use the control lines. Either the user is has to read the information, or user has to write the information through an control lines of IO bus, IO input output read bus, or input output write bus. So this is explained with the help of a one flow chart. So this is the flow chart of a program diver. So see here, so this is the process of a CPU. So when the CPU has the CPU has to execute any program, first of all in an interface it has to read the data register, nothing but status register value. If the status register it contains a flag bit value na, so therefore if flag bit value is equal to 1, therefore here then the CPU it has to read the status register, and here that is the data is transferred to an memory. Then here the CPU has to check the operation, like is that operation is completed or not. If it is completed, it will continue with the execution of that program. If it is not completed, like some more programs are there in that, so therefore here again it will goes back to the interface, read the data register of an interface. So therefore here if the program is not completed means what, again it has to go to the data register, it has to check the flag bit. If flag bit is equal to 1, then it has to read the status register, transfer the data to memory. So likewise if the operation is completed, it will continue the execution with the program. So similarly here if the flag bit value is 1, this is the process. If suppose flag bit value is 0, so therefore here in an interface if the flag is 0, so then it indicates that the interface does not contain any information in a data register. So at that time the CPU has to wait until and unless the flag bit value is 1. So if the flag bit value is equal to 1 means what, here the data in interface that is placed on a data bus of a CPU, then CPU has to access that data and it will execute it. If suppose interface does not contain any information, like whatever the data we are sending from input output devices, so that is not in a proper manner. So therefore that is not a valid data, so therefore that is not placed in a data register of an interface. So therefore here the flag bit value is 0. If flag is equal to 0 means what, so therefore the interface does not contain any information, so therefore it cannot place any data on a CPU. So therefore here the CPU has to wait until and unless the data register value is 1. So therefore here until and unless the flag bit value is 1, the CPU has to wait. So therefore this is the main drawback of this program IO. So like until flag bit value is 1, then only it will execute that program. If it is 0, the CPU has to wait. The CPU uh, uh, waiting time will be increases. So therefore the performance is decreases. So this is the drawback of a programmed IO. Thank you. So this is the concept of a programmed IO. Thank you.